Hi there. Hey, listen, do you feel like your body just seems to be working against you? Like no matter what you eat, your tummy gets bigger and it just seems like you feel slower and less vibrant, that this just is a normal part of aging. My friends, Dory Danatel here. Listen to my last two videos. We've learned a ton about how hormones can make or break our health goals, because hormones gone awry can really make us feel like we're never full or we constantly feel hungry. Now, it's really important to step back and recap a bit. My first of the three videos on hormones and health was all about insulin. And this is the top gun of hormones. And it's the one that really matters when it comes to health too. When it's dysregulated, it can add weight to our waistline and, more importantly, can cause many health issues. Then we took a look at several hormones known as the appetite hormones. These hormones, leptin, ghrelin, and CCK, they aren't actually adding weight to our bodies. They simply mess with our appetite and really make us overeat. So you'll find that video and all the valuable information in video 2 of 3. Both of these important videos are linked in the description below. So today I want to tackle two more major hormones that, if ignored or unregulated, really make our life feel unsatisfactory and upsetting and contribute to feeling old, tired, and unhealthy. The first is cortisol. You may already be aware that cortisol is known as the stress hormone. Cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands. And I'm just going to say this outright. There is a huge controversy in the medical community around a common ailment that has to do with this hormone and that condition, which is called adrenal fatigue. Now, adrenal fatigue is not yet recognized as an official disease. It is a term that is used to explain a group of symptoms that are said to occur when life stress becomes too much for the body to handle. The main symptom is severe tiredness, and it's often accompanied with kind of a gray outlook, brain fog, and you may find it difficult to get things accomplished. It mirrors a bit like depression. There's also a condition that is already classified called adrenal insufficiency. This is very challenging to diagnose, but has very similar symptoms to adrenal fatigue. But the cause is actually thought to occur when another disease is present and the immune system wrongly attacks our adrenal glands. Either way, both of these conditions mean that there is less cortisol to help you manage stressful situations. And both conditions create what feels like being stuck in a dissatisfying and unhealthy place. I'll talk about how to improve adrenal function by returning to the topic of today's hormone, cortisol. And I just want to encourage you, as you hear more about cortisol and your adrenal glands, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, please seek help, and especially know that you can and should trust yourself and advocate for yourself. So let's learn about cortisol. During times of stress, cortisol triggers a quickening of the heart rate and a boost in energy level. And it's really the release of cortisol alongside a release of adrenaline that we know commonly as the fight or flight response. So it's important that your body release cortisol in dangerous and threatening situations. Yet, chronic high levels of cortisol actually lead to so many health struggles, things like low energy level, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep disturbances, and weight gain. Obviously, living with stressful situations contributes to wonky levels of cortisol. There are some lifestyle habits that also contribute to cortisol imbalance, things like poor sleep habits and eating a high amount of glycemic foods. So these are things like sugary type of foods, white bread, potatoes, white rice, cereals, and processed foods. You can actually look up GI index and find which foods are high, and you'll want to consider reducing those and increasing the low GI foods. Those are things like veggies, fruits, non-fried meats, legumes, nuts, dairies, and I have one that's really exciting, dark chocolate. You're welcome. So what else can we do to help manage and balance our cortisol levels? One, optimize your sleep. Get some shut-eye. How do you do this? You establish regular nighty-night time and some bedtime routines. It's funny that we so often think health is only related to what we're eating. Truth be told, adequate and sound sleep seems to actually be one of the main things that matter when it comes to many of our hormonal disturbances. So the next is exercise, moderate and regular movement. And this means not high intensity, just putting that one foot in front of the other or doing some fun movement, 20 to 30 minutes a day. And the main thing is making it regular. The next one would be practicing or learning to practice mindfulness. And listen, one thing I tell every single client, every person in my Facebook community, every person that's been through the Harmonized Health Program, and I constantly talk about this on social media, is if you just have the time and energy to just do two things differently, regular and moderate movement, and also mindfulness or meditation, those are the two big keys. I'm literally the last person who anyone would have thought could meditate. I am a recovering corporate ladder climber. That was my norm. Never sleep, never stop, work hard, play hard. I have learned how to meditate and I've taken the last year to be mindful in life. And that has been one of the major keys. And guess what? I know I've mentioned sleep. This has also helped me with my sleep because I do have sleep issues. So this is another big factor. When I can't sleep, I go into a meditative mindset. It takes me into a sleep mode. That's a double whammy. If you just walk away with two things, it's going to be movement, meditation, or mindfulness. And we can talk about the difference on another video. Next, we're going to look at maintaining a moderate body weight. This can be the catch-22 thing where you're trying, I'm trying, and my hormones are working against me. The main thing here is not to get too intense about, oh, I have to lose this weight. If we are doing some of the tips that I talk about, that body weight should settle out. Will it settle out at the slim and trim place you totally desire? Possibly not, but it can settle out into a healthy place. The next thing that has to do with this moderate body weight is a nicely balanced diet. Now, are you getting the sense that with cortisol, it's really important to have a gentle approach to our health? And that, if you think about it, is so completely counter to how we often approach getting healthy, right? We wait until it feels catastrophic. Then we try to do a 180 turn on every single health marker or health habit instead of approaching this as a health journey, because it is a journey. I like to call it a pilgrimage. I've been really doing this for the last probably 5 or 6 years, and this is when my health is the best it ever has been. I've packed a lot of info here, and I'm going to drill it down to just a few simple and I think somewhat enjoyable techniques. First and foremost, evaluate your sleep. Looking at the very first of 3 videos, I really go into detail about what can help you with your sleep. Lean into some mindfulness and feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to walk through what that might actually look like. I'll just let you know I'm in the process of becoming certified to teach mindfulness. Yet I don't do that publicly. I can do that on a one-on-one basis. After that, consider embracing moderation and regularity in the areas of movement, eating, sleep, we've talked about, and then hydration. And I mentioned hydration as an aside on the first video and why I believe that to be an important aspect of our health too. So listen, it can be so normalized to run on pedal to the metal, or maybe you've just literally been struggling to get going on anything. You've gone the opposite way. You've lost all motivation. There's no reason that you can't feel better than ever with great energy and a sense of fulfillment and happiness, no matter what age you are or what your hormones are doing. And I know this for a fact because I've already taken myself and many clients on this journey to healing and to experiencing the best health of any time in their life. So I want to finish out this series on the hormone that so many of us as women attribute most of our health struggles to, and that is estrogen. Whether it's coursing through us during our reproductive years, or it's the inevitable decline of estrogen until post-menopause years, we tend to point to estrogen as to what is making us feel unsettled or hormonal or dry and drab. It's the catch-all. And likely it actually is. All that means is that estrogen is an extremely important hormone to know about. It's a substance that we must be willing to explore, and then also to really go after getting help in deciding what to do when our levels aren't working for us. Some important functions of estrogen, and remember, hormones are basically chemical messengers that make sure our body is functioning at the life level. So they're all important. So hormones do regulate our internal systems so that we can stay alive. Estrogen not only plays the key role in the female reproductive system, but it has a role in our immune, our skeletal, and our vascular or blood vessel systems. As we know, estrogen decreases as we age and as our menstrual cycle ceases. And studies show that when this occurs, body weight and body fat may increase just naturally. And often this happens as an accumulation around the trunk of the body. This is a phenomenon that is medically termed central obesity. This is the common waistline expansion. The problem is if it was simply a cosmetic situation, we might be okay to just accept it and live with it. With central obesity, this thickening of our middle is actually thought to cause several adverse metabolic situations for us. Things like high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and most concerning and very common is heart disease. The reason that is most concerning is heart disease is actually the #1 cause of death for postmenopausal women. So here's the thing. I think we as women, we recognize that staying slim and trim is really not the #1 goal as we age. Good thing, because women actually are shown to gain about 1.5 pounds per year during their 50s and 60s, an average of 30 pounds of extra weight. Here's the kicker. Studies show that the weight is actually redistributed during menopause to be more fat and less muscle. What else does this natural drop in estrogen bring on? Here's some more things. Sleep disturbances are super common, which is a little troublesome when you watch the previous videos on hormones, because I continue to bring up that sleep is one of the most important things. So sleep and setting yourself up for a good night's sleep night after night is one of the best things that you can do for your health. Do not underestimate this. Now let's dive into how we can help ourselves when our bodies are just naturally undergoing a reduction in this important hormone. I'm not here to tell you that you should choose hormone replacement therapy or that you should choose an alternative pathway, but I'm going to implore you to seek help and then seek more help again. In other words, advocate for yourself and advocate some more. Because unfortunately, this issue is really brushed aside by all of us typically, and our medical professionals pretty much 99% of the time. It's literally a deal of this is how it's going to be, and we make light of it, or we just feel disempowered. So please do not give up. Trust yourself, stay the course, your health matters. Moving beyond hormone therapy options, you may wonder what you can do as far as lifestyle adjustments. And just like the previous hormones, estrogen can be impacted in a positive direction by making some similar small changes. So what are those? Physical activity. I just am going to say it because you've heard it so many times, so pay attention because you may check out again. It's never ever too late to make a lifestyle change. If you've been somewhat inactive, even if that's been your mode for as long as you can remember, you can make changes without having to be super over the top. I've said it more than once in the series, just put one foot in front of the other, going for 20 to 30 minutes daily, at least 5 days a week. Of course, managing your stress. So how to do that? I personally have found that meditation is huge. Next, sleep. Attend to your sleep. If your head hits the pillow and you don't move until the morning light, well, good for you. However, most of us struggle in various ways with getting good sleep. To know what to do, fully rewatch video one. The basics are have a bedtime routine, refrain from heavy eating or drinking within a few hours of bedtime, and biggest issue, turn off the screens at least 1 hour before bedtime. Then tackle changes to some of the foods you're eating. Make sure that you're including high quality protein every time you eat. Do some basic switch outs on the carbs. Simple carbs like bready stuff, you want to switch out to fruits and veggies when you can. And start looking at your fats. If there's a lot of butter and dairy in your diet, just slow it down a bit on that. There's more tips on doing these in each video. Listen, regardless of your current age, where you are with your health, you can have more energy, you can be happier and more satisfied in life, and it is not out of reach, and it is not that complicated. I occasionally offer free one-on-one health sessions. It's 45 minutes dedicated to helping you map out how you can get where you long to be with your health. You can click the link found in the description below this video. One last thing, we must actually be our own health advocate because listen, medical professionals, health and wellness professionals, they often must follow a certain protocol to get paid, which means our best interests may not fall into that protocol. All of this to say, make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any of the upcoming content around harnessing your own best health, regardless of your age and stage. That's it. Alrighty, friends. I'll see you on the next one.